You have a person in your life right now who you have talked to maybe 200 times, and you still know almost nothing real about them. Not because they are boring, not because there's no connection, because both of you have been playing it safe for so long that safe has become the only language you speak to each other. And in the next 15 minutes, I am going to show you exactly why that happens, and one small move that breaks it in less time than it takes to order a coffee. Let me start with something that happened to me, because I think you will recognize a version of it in your own life. There was a guy I saw almost every week for close to 3 years. Same gym, same time slot, same nod, hello. We knew each other's names. We knew what machine the other one liked. That was the entire relationship. Then one evening, the gym had a power cut. Lights just died mid-workout, and we ended up standing outside in the parking lot for 20 minutes waiting for someone to sort it out. And somewhere in those 20 minutes, out of nowhere, he told me he had almost quit his job the week before because he could not stop thinking he was wasting his life behind a desk. 3 years of nods. 20 minutes in a dark parking lot. And I knew him better after those 20 minutes than after everything before it combined. I used to think that was a fluke. Wrong place, wrong time, right mood. Then I came across research that studies exactly this. How people go from strangers to genuinely close in a short window. And it turns out what happened in that parking lot was not random at all. It follows a pattern. A very specific, very repeatable pattern. And once you understand it, you stop waiting for power cuts and dark parking lots to have real conversations. Here is where most people get this completely backwards. They think closeness comes from spending more time with someone. More hangouts, more group chats, more birthday parties. But time alone does not build closeness. I want you to sit with that for a second, because if it were true, you would already be close to half the people you work with. There was a well-known study where 2 total strangers were placed in a room and given a set of questions to work through in order, nothing else, just talk. One version of the questions stayed light the entire time. Favorite movies, weekend plans, that kind of thing. The other version started light but slowly asked for more. Until by the end, the 2 strangers were admitting things they had never said out loud to people they had known for years. Same amount of time in the room. Same 2 strangers. But the pair who climbed from light to real ended the session reporting they felt closer to each other than to people already in their lives. Read that again if you need to. Closer to a stranger from one conversation than to someone they had known for years. So if it is not time, what is it? It is risk. Every time you tell someone something that could be used against you, something you have not rehearsed, something that could make them think less of you, you are handing them a small piece of power over you. And here is the part that should not make sense but does. Handing someone that power is exactly what makes them like you more, not less. Think about the last time someone told you something they clearly were not comfortable sharing. Maybe they admitted they were struggling more than they let on. Maybe they told you about a fear they usually keep hidden. What did you feel toward them in that moment? I would bet it was not judgment, it was closeness, because they trusted you with something. And trust, once it is given, almost always gets returned. That is the whole engine behind connection. Not charm, not shared hobbies, not how funny you are. Trust that gets handed over and matched. One person opens a door slightly, and the other person either walks through it or lets it close. When it closes, the conversation snaps right back to weather and weekend plans, and it usually stays there for good. When it gets matched, something shifts, and it rarely goes back to shallow again. Now here is where I want you to actually pause and think of someone specific, not people in general, one name. Someone you see often, someone you actually like, someone who after all this time is still, if you are being honest, basically a stranger to you. A coworker you eat lunch with most days, a neighbor you wave to every morning, a friend of a friend who shows up at every event you go to. You have that name in your head now, I know you do. You know why you two never went past small talk. It is not because there was nothing there. It is because at some point a realer question showed up in your mind. Something like, are you actually happy in your job? Or is everything okay with you lately? And right before you said it, you talked yourself out of it. You said something safe instead. That moment happens constantly, and nobody ever talks about the cost of it, because the cost is invisible. It is paid in every conversation you could have had and did not. I think most people carry 10 or 15 relationships that could go deep tomorrow if either person just took the first real step. Nobody takes it because everybody is waiting for the other person to go first, and both people think they are the only one waiting. So let me give you the actual structure of how closeness gets built, because once you can see it, you can use it on purpose instead of hoping for another power cut. Picture every relationship moving through 4 levels, and you can only really move up one level at a time without it feeling forced. Level 1 is facts. Where someone works, how they know the host, what part of town they live in. This is where almost every conversation you have ever had lives, and there is nothing wrong with starting here. The problem is treating it like a destination instead of a doorway. Level 2 is opinion. Not what do you do for work, but do you actually enjoy it? Not where did you go for the holidays, but would you ever go back? This is a small step up because now you can be disagreed with, judged a little, and most people barely ever get asked this, so when you ask it, something in them lights up. Level 3 is the actual experience behind the fact. Someone mentions they moved cities last year, so you ask what the first month alone was actually like. Someone mentions a career change, so you ask if it felt more like relief or fear. You are not bringing up a new topic here. You are opening a door they already handed you. That is what makes it feel natural instead of like an interview. Level 4 is the honest layer. Doubts, regrets, the thing they are actually proud of, the thing that keeps them up sometimes. You do not get here with a clever line. You get here because the first 3 levels went well enough, in both directions, that this level finally feels safe to open. I want to be clear about something important here. You cannot skip more than 1 level at a time. If you jump from facts straight to someone's deepest fear, that does not read as depth, it reads as strange, and people pull away from it fast. The climb has to feel earned, even if it only takes 20 minutes instead of 20 years. Now, knowing the levels is one thing. Actually taking that step in the moment is a different problem entirely, because your instinct will always tell you to play it safe. So let me give you the one tool that makes that step almost effortless. Right before you ask a level 3 or level 4 question, say one short line first. Something like, "Can I ask you something a bit real?" Or, "Mind if I ask you something honest?" That is genuinely it. One short sentence before the actual question. I think this small line does more work than people give it credit for. First, it turns a question that could feel like an ambush into something the other person agreed to. Nobody flinches at a question they said yes to first. Second, once someone says sure, go ahead, they have made a tiny public commitment to being open, and people naturally want to stay consistent with what they just agreed to, so they answer more honestly than they would have otherwise. Third, it builds instant curiosity. The second you hear that line, your brain immediately starts guessing what is coming, and that curiosity makes it almost impossible to shut the question down. And fourth, it quietly tells the other person that you understand the moment matters, which most people never signal at all. One thing you have to respect here. This line is an invitation, not a demand. If someone says sure but their face tightens, or they answer in 5 words and change the subject, that is your answer too. You do not push a second time in the same conversation. Use it once, maybe twice in a long conversation, and it stays powerful. Use it every few minutes and you turn into someone running an interview instead of having a conversation, and people can feel that shift immediately. Here's the part almost everyone misses completely. This only works if you climb the same staircase yourself. If you keep asking real questions and never offer anything real back, the other person eventually feels like they are being interviewed instead of talked to, and they close right back up. The exact same short line works in the other direction too. Can I tell you something a bit personal? Then you offer the real thing first, before they even ask. That single move often does more for a relationship than 10 questions ever could, because now you are not just collecting their honesty, you are matching it. Think back to that gym parking lot for a second. If he had told me about almost quitting his job, and I had just said, "That is rough, man," and changed the subject, that conversation dies right there and probably never comes back. Instead, I told him something I had never said out loud either, that I had been having the exact same thoughts about my own job for months. That is the moment 2 people actually become close, not the confession itself. The moment it gets matched. I think about how much of this comes down to timing and pacing more than people expect. This is not something you rush through in one conversation to prove a point. The levels take real time, sometimes spread across several conversations over weeks. Someone you just met tonight is not ready for a level 4 question in the next 10 minutes, and trying to force it does not make you deep, it makes the other person quietly start planning their exit. So here is what I actually want you to do with this. Think of that one name again. The person stuck at small talk for way too long. Next time you see them, do not wait for a power cut or a thinned out party to hand you the moment. Ask one level 2 question you have never asked before. Do you actually like your job? Not what do you do for work? See what happens to their face when they realize you are actually asking instead of just filling silence. That gym relationship changed everything for me, not because of one big dramatic conversation, but because after that night, we both kept climbing a little every time we saw each other. We talk about real things now. Not because we had more time. We had the same amount of time as before. We just finally stopped standing at the bottom of the stairs waiting for the other person to go first. You probably have your own version of that parking lot sitting somewhere in your life right now, some relationship that has been circling level 1 for years while both of you secretly want more from it. The only thing missing is one person willing to spend the first real question. It does not have to be you every time, but it can be, starting today, and I think you already know exactly who that first question is for. If this changed how you see the conversations you have every day, subscribe, because there is a lot more where this came from.